welcome, guys. And I know it's been a little bit for Psychopath Theater, but there's a good reason for that, and it's not my fault. All right. So I think you guys might remember a little bit further back when I was starting to do my Toon Dudes commentaries, and I was just doing random stuff, and Warner Brothers decided to copyright block me on two of them, and therefore I wasn't trying it again for a while because I didn't want to get a third strike, therefore losing the channel. Well, nothing like that happened because I didn't even try this time. Warner blocked a Psychopath Theater that we recorded on the Tom and Jerry movie from 1992. So this is what we're doing, all right? I wanted to do a horror film because I am a big classic horror fan. And there has been very little horror films on Blue Genocide since 32-Bit Blue Season 1. And I figured, why not do it for my brand new Psychopath Theater format? Now, I don't expect this to do very well in comparison to the two sing-along videos. And to quickly address that, we will be doing Popeye sing-along as soon as we can. Well, there is a Porky Pig sing-along, but we can't do that one. Anyways, I'm sure you could hear Anthony's Animation Talk is here, as well as Steph Silly. Tom and Jerry was going to be her first appearance, but this is now her real first appearance if you don't count the stream today as of the time of recording. So say hi, Steph. Say hi, Anthony.
Hi, everybody.
No, I will never say hello, ever.
I realize that's a little bit of a long intro, but anyways, I'm sure you can see the title, White Zombie. This is a Bela Lugosi film from 1932. It's right off the heels of him doing Dracula. The film did not originally do very well. However, when it was, dumped on TV in the 60s, it became kind of a cult hit. And I'm sure you guys have heard of White Zombie, the band.
Oh, yeah. Rob Zombie.
I have not.
No? Rob Zombie? No?
Well, Rob Zombie, yes. Yeah.
White Zombie was his first band.
Okay, gotcha.
So anyways, Steph has seen this, but it's been a while for her. Anthony has never seen this. And you know what? It's in the public domain. So I figured, here you guys go. And as a special bonus, I will be releasing the Tom and Jerry episode as a re-edited podcast. So you guys will get 2 of these videos on the same day. I'm sure the Tom and Jerry one will probably get more views. But this is something I wanted to do because I'm passionate about this. And I think I should be able to do what I want on my channel. So I think we've stalled long enough. No.
No, you shouldn't. You should never do what you want on your channel. That's just loser talk.
Loser talk. Well, all right. Anyways, I think we should get right into it. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So I will count down and we will start this film in 3, 2, 1. All right, so this is actually an HD print, so you're not watching this like you would have to on a VHS in the 80s or 90s.
Oh, man.
I mean...
I will admit that there is a nice aesthetic to watching something on a beat-up VHS tape.
Oh, yeah, I sometimes enjoy
Much
that
prefer.
Too.
Yeah. It's nice to see
I like the title.
This print.
I really like the...
I like the title.
White Zombie.
Yeah.
It's still a little loud for me, so I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. Of course, the rest of the film is going to be very quiet because this is an early sound film, obviously. So there's not going to be a huge amount of score to this film. When there is score, it's really good. But it's just, they were still limiting it because they believed, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but when sound movies first came, they were worried about playing music and talking at the same time because they were worried audience members would get confused.
Yeah, that's true. If you watch early sound films from 1929 and stuff, there's no music at all during the actual, the early Laurel and Hardy films, for instance, because
and the first Marx Brothers.
That's right. Yeah. He just didn't know how to put like a music track on top of the soundtrack until they were able to actually put the soundtrack onto the film itself. I think they did that in the second half of 1930.
So we just got a little glimpse at technically our two leads, the Wonder Bread twins here. Sorry, I had to. Anthony, what you're gonna learn watching classic horror films is that 9 times out of 10, the male lead is incompetent and useless.
No, say it isn't so. I mean, it just means that nothing really has changed since those
Pretty
times.
Much, but it's really bad, and it shows how whiny this guy gets, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
I honestly thought he looked. I honestly thought he looked like a young Bob Hope for a second.
Yeah, he does look like him. Has the same hair.
I don't like the way he grins.
And the nose. So if it was like a doppelganger, he'd be what called Bob Hopeless.
Yeah. I love that shot of Lugosi's eyes too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Those are the eyes of Blue when he's asked to do, sniffles or, maybe buddy commentaries on my channel.
Pretty much. I also realized, I gotta say too, I love this character design. This is Lugosi's character, of course. You're gonna see his like close up of his face right now. Look at that face. Just those eyes. He had something not a lot of actors then or a lot of actors now have. He's just got that face, and you'll remember that.
But to tell you the truth, the first time I've seen Bela Lugosi was in his very last film, the notorious Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Yeah, and you know what?
Nice.
He's still great in the 5 seconds of that movie he's in.
Yeah. That they repeat over and over again.
Yeah. Lugosi was just never appreciated properly throughout his entire career.
Yeah.
And
no one really took horror movies that seriously for a really long time.
It's not even just that, but if this is getting a little bit nerdy, but Dracula came out, basically revitalized what Lon Chaney Sr. did with horror films. They released Frankenstein with Boris Karloff, which was originally meant to be a vehicle for Lugosi. That movie does way better, and Karloff can speak normal English, so obviously for sound films, that appealed to them. And this was Lugosi's first horror film since Dracula, and it was a low-budget affair. They paid most of their budget to get some of the Dracula sets, which I'll point those out, and this just followed him his entire career. And Lugosi had some amazing roles, beyond Dracula, but everybody knows him for one thing.
He was typecast.
Yeah. Very badly, and you know what? I'm not even sure if Dracula is his best role. He's got some amazing roles, and this is no exception, as you'll find out.
My introduction
so would it be fit
was Abbott and Costello.
Oh yeah, you know what? That might have been my first experience with him too.
So would it be fair to say that he was good at doing with a lot with less, if you will, like he would take lousy material, but then he would make something great out of it?
Yes, you know what? Everything Lugosi is in, he's worth seeing it for just him being in it. In the middle point of his career, when he was at his all-time lowest, and I mean lower than Plan 9, believe it or not, he was doing gangster films, and the only reason to see those pieces of crap is because of Lugosi.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's actors like him are very rare because it's very rare that you encounter people that have such a strong visual presence just by how they look. It's you look at them once and then you remember them forever.
Even beyond that,
It's
Yeah.
it's a quality that you don't find very often.
even beyond that, it's rare to find an actor that will take anything that they're given and make the best out of it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would say Orson Welles is probably another example. I've seen terrible things he's been in, and yet when he's there, it's like he's such a presence, you know.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely. Lugosi is the same traits. Like I think, and I hate saying it. Well, I don't hate saying it, but I would say that of the two of them, Lugosi was a stronger actor than Karloff ever was. I'm not putting down Karloff in any way, but Lugosi worked harder for it his entire career. And that's not saying something against Karloff either. Karloff had a lot of heart in him too, and he
Yeah, I
was
mean Karloff.
yeah.
I first encountered him, of course, in The Grinch. I mean, I think a lot of people did.
Oh yeah, and
Oh yeah.
I'm no different. Yeah, I think everybody. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but most people are introduced to him through The Grinch, and I didn't even know it was him for the longest time.
Well, the fact that I think Chuck Jones wanted him to be Grinch, but the powers that be thought, really him, and now it's like who else could it be? You know, that's how good it was.
Yeah, and that is entirely true. Yeah. So this is an early '30s film, so the plot isn't too complicated. But to quickly glance over it, these two are in for their honeymoon, but they're visiting their friend or their wedding, and this friend here got the hots for the wife to be. So of course we got, instead of one simp who's whining all over the place like a male lead, we got two of them. Yeah, I'm not going to be nice
So
to him.
that's that's like the equivalent of both you and our good friend Austin Kelly being on a Sniffles commentary, right?
Oh, if we both love Sniffles, then that would be a fair comparison. But
But you do love Sniffles.
oh,
Yeah, right now I'm staring at you. I'm staring at you right now, like Lugosi's in that scene before. You love Sniffles.
a film that I consider a lot of Lugosi's best work to be around this period, even beyond Dracula, because Dracula is great, and that's definitely a film that you should see. Obviously, we can't do it on the channel because Universal still owns the copyright on that for, what is it, another 6 years ish. Can't believe I'm gonna live.
Well,
I think it's 10 years, I think.
No, because I believe it's
10.
95.
Oh, 95. Okay.
Isn't it
Oh,
95
okay,
years?
because I thought you. Yeah, because I thought it was 100 for whatever reason, but I would be. See, I think what's going to end up happening is that you're going to have a lot of people, a lot of these corporations in the US lobbying Congress, to have the law change regarding copyright so they can retain it, so it doesn't go public domain, especially Disney with Mickey Mouse.
Oh, probably. Well, okay. I'll correct myself. It should be going to It should be leaving
It
copyright
should.
in 5 years.
Technically, all this stuff should be in public domain now.
Yes.
A lot of stuff. I think Superman should have been by now. I think Mickey Mouse should have been. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we can get frustrated at Disney all we want for that, and it is completely justified. I mean, no one that worked on this film is even alive anymore, and hasn't been for
I think it would be better in the
Oh, go ahead,
I
Steph.
think it would be better for all these films made during this period to be public domain, because then more people would see them.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's why we're lucky that
there's
this one is.
yeah. No one's going to
I would
really
say the
care
best.
about them if they're just locked in a vault for the rest of eternity.
Right.
So I think the best compromise is, fine, Disney can own Mickey Mouse. That's okay. But films that are, 100 years old, and it will get to that stage very soon, let them be public domain. And that's probably the best
They
best
should
way to
be
do it. But
available
I don't see them
publicly.
happening.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can totally see that there will probably be a lobby, and it's just going to take paying the right person off. That's all it's going to take. Lining pockets. So another thing I should explain, the modern zombie, as we know what it is in pop culture today, was invented in the George Romero film Night of the Living Dead, which is another public domain film we'll probably cover on the channel at some point. But
I want to join you for that one because I love that movie.
oh, it's a fantastic
I've
movie.
never seen it.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Anthony.
man.
Well, he'll be there too. Don't worry. But so the modern
or
zombie,
else, huh?
well, you'll want to be there. I know you. Well, so the modern zombie was invented in George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. You might be thinking, okay, but this film's called White Zombie. Well, that's true. The word zombie existed before Romero did it. But the thing about these zombies is that they're not really flesh-hungry, undead. These zombies are more of possessed, mind-controlled, have no brain or soul. They're just mindless bodies. The word zombie...
So pretty much me doing commentaries in 1934.
Basically, yes.
Yeah, cool.
So they're all just possessed people. I think that... I don't remember where I heard this, but I've heard that was the original intention behind Night, but things changed or something. I can't remember. I shouldn't speak. But I do want to come back to a point I was making before about Lugosi in this period, because I think most people know about Dracula. Some people know about his role in the third and fourth Frankenstein film, which is just his best work ever, in my opinion. I don't think a lot of people... Well, people know about White Zombie. It's been in the public domain. And by the way, look at that henchman. Just look at that face. That's me after I've seen some Sniffles cartoons. That's just my face. But anyways, there's another film from around this period. I believe it's a Paramount film, and it's The Island of Lost Souls, which is a very famous book.
Oh yeah, that's a terrific movie.
That is one of my favorite Lugosi performances.
For a 1930s. Yeah. And it's got Charles Lawton playing the lead, I think. Oh, it was made before the production code tightened down, so it's it's really gruesome for a 1933 movie. It's actually kind of scary, I have to say.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see some of the things that they did get away with in all these movies before the code really solidified, not just in cartoons, but just generally speaking, and not just violence, but there was a lot of, very scantily clad women and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
the code...
I mean...
I would say...
They had...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, they had standards, like, you couldn't show people having, like, sex or anything. But, like, there's like tons of like early 30s movies where they have scenes where there's like girls skinny dipping, but it's okay because they're in water, so you can't really make out the bodies too clearly. I mean, people had a more relaxed attitude.
Lots of women taking off pantyhose.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, Harold Lloyd in one of his films, I forgot which one. You actually literally see him flip the bird. You actually see him give the finger. I forgot which one it was. So Yeah, that was like, whoa, okay.
I feel like the code held things back quite a bit until 50 years. Like, it's just a shame.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like, that was right. Like, thank God we got King Kong right before 34. Like, that would
Which I
have been.
have
yeah.
seen.
Yeah,
Which
well,
I
that's
have
good.
seen.
That's good. I do really want to get back to Lugosi though, because I've been wanting to talk about Lugosi for a long time now. But yes, Castle of Lost Souls or Island of Lost Souls. Sorry, I always mix that title up. If that, I don't think that one's public domain. I don't think it is.
No, it's not in public domain, but the Criterion Collection put out a really good remastered version of that one a couple years ago.
Yeah, and
Great
I
release.
I plan on getting that Blu-ray. I have that version from other sources. I'll just say that. Been meaning to get that. That's been on the list for a long time, but that's a fantastic film with Lugosi, and he's only in it for like 5 minutes. The other film that he did like right after Dracula is Murders of the Rue Morgue, and that's another really dark film where he plays like a Satanist. He goes around
Yeah,
like
that's
kidnapping girls to like.
Edgar. Yeah, it's an old Edgar Allan Poe story.
Oh, it's great too. Like that film will terrify you first time. Like it freaked me out. Like
I'm just looking at Lugosi and I'm just admiring his hand gestures.
oh yeah.
Like, like the whole tut tut move he did with his hand, beforehand, just simple things like that, just amazing.
I think I'm not gonna lie. I feel like modern acting has lost a lot because I can't see anybody in a modern sense of a person that's in a lot of like major films of this era being able to act the same way as Lugosi or well anybody that was trained during the silent era because you had to do so much more with your face back then to act, and that's almost a lost art.
I got but I've also got a theory as well. I mean, I think a lot of it's to do with the fact a lot of them came from either vaudeville or theater and all that, and you sort of had to people in the audience had to be able to see you from all the way in the back, and I think it's bringing some of that to the actual, to these films.
Oh,
So that's what I think anyway.
I do
Yeah.
What do
quickly
you
want to
think?
say this is a redone Dracula set. This is pretty obvious. This is the
Oh yeah,
set.
it looks familiar.
This is the set where Mina was attacked by Dracula. If you look at both of them side by side, it's pretty clear this is one of the sets. And there's another set later on that I
Oh
recognize.
wow.
We have music again.
Oh no, we can see women's legs in a 30s short. Oh no,
If you
they
want
must
to
be
pretty.
banned.
if you want to see them push it, you have to watch the original sound. I believe it's MGM, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because that was the original pronunciation of it. That film is really risque with its
Oh, shocking.
yeah, its sex appeal, and I think you see a girl in a nightgown basically try to come on to the good doctor. That was not something you'd see for like the next 50 years of film.
It always seems like that always make me laugh because it's like the underwear from back then is like pretty much like wearing like regular items of clothing
Oh yeah,
nowadays.
yeah.
But yeah, no, because it's always weird seeing just not nudity, but just women with lesser clothes in these earlier films, because you get the impression from other films that everyone was just so modest.
Oh yeah, and I do really can't believe I haven't made this joke yet. But this guy, the guy who's in love with the girl he can't have, I have to make this joke. He's the missing stooge, Simpy. Yeah. So,
he's a little thing for you regarding film censorship and everything. Do you guys know what the first actress and the first film, American film, we'll keep it at that, actually showed topless nudity?
oh, and Anthony, I'm sorry. I'll have to interrupt you on that little trivia fact because there's an important scene coming up here. First of all,
Well, what's more important than topless nudity? Go on.
the most obnoxious animal in film history. But I love this score to the scene. This is like one of the few score pieces of this film. You're about to hear one of the most annoying animals of all time, as you also see Lugosi performing some voodoo.
And I heard this music. In the Ed Wood film, the Tim Burton film.
Oh, you probably, yeah. They bring up this film a lot in that film. Yeah.
Oh, is this the one that they watched on TV together in the movie?
You guys hear that crow?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the most obnoxious thing in the world. You'll hate your eardrums after that thing goes off. You guys are lucky that you aren't hearing the full extent of that fucking crow.
Jeez.
Did you hear it at all?
I did.
It's really bad.
I got this thing on low volume too.
Yeah, it is obnoxious, and you're gonna hear that a couple more times too throughout this film.
That's gonna be my alarm clock, I think.
Oh, that'll work. All right, but you can bring up your topless trivia piece now.
All right, but
I'm guessing Mae West.
Nope.
Mae West.
Yeah, Mae West, or maybe Marlena Dietrich or something.
No.
Fay Ray was close. I mean, if you ever seen some scenes in Kong, it's very clear she's not wearing a bra in most of that film.
No, it's Jane Mansfield in a movie called Promises in 1963.
Of course, it's from the '60s. Why am I not surprised?
So basically, it took that long for there to be anything. But it was weird because I saw the Peter Sellers and Ringo Starr film. Oh, I forgot what it's called.
Magic Christian.
That's the one, Magic Christian, right? And that has a scene of a lot of women that are topless, and I'm thinking, gee, this is 1969 or something. And yeah, I was thinking, how this is probably the earliest instance that I've personally seen. But then I had a look, and it's like, no, it's actually Jane Mansfield in Promises. So there you go.
It's fun. I like watching a lot of movies from France, from the 30s and 40s, and that stuff's just business as usual.
Yeah, I'm
the most
sure.
normal thing.
Yeah, I'm sure in European markets they would have had nudity and all that sort of stuff way earlier. But in terms of American film, yeah, that's what's regarded as the earliest.
It's funny if you go
in fact.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, in fact, if you go to Wikipedia on Jane Mansfield, you can actually see her topless in there. So if you want an instance of nudity on Wikipedia, there it is.
Okay then.
I'm hearing a lot.
Naturally, it had to be someone with extremely large boobs, of course.
She had large boobs. I never noticed.
I think Lugosi is excited. Noticed. I think he's going for it.
Okay.
I love his eyebrows.
This set looks familiar. I'm not sure if it's from Dracula, but it might be from another film. It definitely looks like it's something I've seen before in a different film. Maybe? No. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Just to quickly glance over what happened, Lugosi put a spell on our female lead to basically put her in a near-death state. That's going to come into play later, and of course, our male lead, I guess, as went to the bottle.
Well, here's a good way to keep costs down. You get people off screen who might not be, in makeup or anything. You just cast their shadows, and that's that.
Looks cool though. I
Yeah.
really like that look. It's
Yeah.
it reminds me of like that Nosferatu style of like horror filmmaking.
We'll have to do Nosferatu at some point as well.
Yeah.
I've always loved seeing when something's clearly low budget and what directors do to get around the whole low budget fact. Like a lot of Ralph Bakshi's films, because his anime films had such low budgets a lot of the time. What he had to resort to in some of them just to just to complete them.
I think horror lends itself really well to like lower budgets because it adds like a very stark aesthetic to the storytelling.
It's also
Even like scenes like this, it's cheaper than having like a bunch of people like in like a fancy cafe, but it works well in this context because it gives it a dreamlike quality.
That's right.
And essentially, horror film is like seeing how you can bend reality and blend it into the supernatural.
Absolutely.
Now, what I don't get about this entire film is that everybody is so obsessed with this one woman. Like, I get it, she's kind of cute, but like, I don't think there should be like 3 guys all after her, and one of them's got like supernatural powers, and it's like, come on, guys, there must be like another woman around here. Like that's Lugosi's entire motive throughout all of this. He wants her too.
Once my master. Secrets I tortured out of him. Mangelda, the swine, swollen with riches.
Well, I like the costumes in this one.
Considering they probably
just got that look.
Yeah. I love the look of these characters. Like, especially this guy with like the unibrow. Look at
well, that was me when I watched Going to Heaven on a Mule. That was my face when I was watching that cartoon. Just
Almost executed me.
Just Lugosi's expressions. I could watch this all. I could watch his expressions all day. What you guys really should see too is like 2 efforts he did with Karloff in the, right around the time the code was introduced. The Black Cat and the Raven, both Edgar Allan Poe stories, even though they're very loosely based on those 2 properties. Very little of it.
Yeah, the Black Cat has pretty like maybe like 2% of the Edgar Allan Poe story is in the movie version of the Black Cat.
That being said, both of them are fantastic films, and they both
I've seen the Black Cat. I thought that one was pretty good. I haven't seen the Raven.
Well, in my opinion, they both demonstrate how great of an actor Lugosi could be, even paired with Karloff, who, every studio at the time would tell you that Karloff was the superior one. But no, Lugosi holds his own in both of those films, and in one place, he even commands Karloff very well.
Reminds me of the whole thing in the Ed Wood film, Karloff, sidekick.
Yeah, see.
So this came out in 1932. So the movie Boris Karloff was in around this time wasn't a horror film at all. It was a Scarface, original version. He plays a New York mobster with a British accent. Yeah. It's a great movie.
But he was also
unusual casting.
I think around this time too. So both Dracula came out on Valentine's Day, 1931. Frankenstein, I
A
believe.
romantic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lugosi was very sensual. You can ask any woman of that time period, and I don't know. I don't see it, but women were excited. I'll just put it that way. Frankenstein came out.
Hey, I'm not a woman, and I'm getting excited when I see him. You know.
Well, I think that's awakening something in you, Anthony. But anyways,
Hey, let's all have good taste, you know.
yeah, you got good taste. Yeah, absolutely. 3 months later, Frankenstein came out, or something like that. I don't
Just don't
remember.
tell the wife.
I don't remember exactly how long it was, but I think it's around 3 months. Frankenstein comes out, and Karloff basically stole any thunder Lugosi was getting because of Dracula, and I don't really know why. Both of them are huge successes. I just guess that they were like, well, this one's got an accent, this one doesn't. This one already told us no, that he didn't want to do the part. This one is basically willing to do anything we tell him to do. So, you know, then they cast Karloff in The Mummy, which came out around the time of this film. And the thing about The Mummy is that while it's not based off a book like Dracula or Frankenstein was, obviously, there are some very clear similarities with Dracula in that film, so it kind of feels like Karloff trying to do a Dracula-esque character.
Are you mad? I saw her die. The doctor signed a certificate. I saw them bury her.
And I love The Mummy too. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a great film. Like, most of the early Universal run is very good. Even the films that they mostly like to forget about. But I think, like, a majority of them are good, like, even solid films, up until the House of Dracula and House of Frankenstein films. So, like, about to the mid-40s. But now they're,
The Invisible Man is my favorite out of all of them.
Oh, yeah. Invisible Man is a great film by Claude Rains. That film
Just has such a great voice.
My friend still cracks up every time he hears, "Now we go gathering nuts and Meg, nuts and Meg, nuts and Meg." It's a great film. Oh, whoops, sorry guys, you can see a little bit of the stats. So we're about halfway through now. My bad. I gotta stop bumping my mouse. That's okay.
Bumping the mouse, eh?
Bumping the mouse, yeah. Well, my desk is...
That's all the kids are saying these days.
What are you implying?
I don't know.
Alright, well...
Well, this is Psychopath Theatre.
Yes.
The only thing you're accomplishing is demonstrating to everyone how much older you are than us.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't it not too long ago that somebody said you seemed like a good uncle figure?
That was you.
No, it wasn't.
I'll just say it is. I mean, you guys were saying I was Uncle Buck.
Yeah, okay, that was me.
Yeah. And he's an uncle, so...
Well, yeah, we were in the Asylum, which is our little channel in the Discord server that me and Anthony run. One day, Anthony posted a picture of a new collection of what's the name now? John Hughes films, and we were all trying to figure out who each of us would be. Steph, you decided you were the what do they call her again? The basket case in the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, the basket case.
Yeah,
that's me.
right.
To a T.
And I said I was Ferris. Austin was basically well, we came up with a few for Austin because he wasn't happy with any of them. I mean, Fox was Dutch, obviously. Even beyond the obvious joke that he's Dutch. And we decided that Anthony was Uncle Buck. And I think that fits. I think all of that fits. I don't care what anybody says. Austin has that pure Culkin energy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Or the kid from Dutch. One of the two. You can pick. I don't care. He was not happy when I told him he was Steve Martin.
Just told him he was Yogi Bear.
I'd tell him he's Dan Aykroyd. That would piss him off even more. It's
Ugh.
still... You know what's funny is I didn't think that film was that bad. It wasn't great.
Huh?
It wasn't great, but it wasn't like... I mean, like, what did you expect? That's my point on that. I don't know how we're talking about Yogi Bear right now.
I mean, whenever you talk about Bela Lugosi, I mean, Yogi Bear's bound to show up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this guy
Yeah,
is...
I mean, I mentioned that I've seen this once before. I watched this like towards the beginning of lockdown
Mhm.
and COVID and all that happened. I was just like watching a ton of like public domain stuff on YouTube just to kind of
I
distract
love
me.
that painting.
Like I had a really hard time focusing on that one.
That painting.
Mainly because like long scenes like this where there's like a lot of dialogue happening in like a room and just like a ton of exposition. It kind of
This should be pretty obvious.
that's
to you,
where
but
like older stuff kind of doesn't hold up as well as like maybe if it was like filmed 10 years earlier. Or I mean later.
If this is a silent film, this would have been 40 minutes longer, and there would have been even more exposition dumps. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's an obvious reason why these films are early in their sound periods, but I was just going to quickly say, before I get onto my point, that this is another decently costumed up Dracula set, I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe that this set is like whatever still existed at Dracula's castle, except like cleaned up a little bit. It looks very familiar.
Looks terrific.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about these films that I love so much is just the set design, the cinematography. Like, there's so much to look at in these films that I can get around their exposition dumps, and you know it's taken me years to be able to do that. In fact, to this day, I have a hard time sitting through Nosferatu, so I'm kind of looking forward to talking to you guys about that one because
but I just want to say her facial expression while playing taking piano classes. It gets really annoying sometimes.
I was gonna say that was your
Practice your scales.
Yeah, exactly. That's me practicing scales.
I know scales, damn it.
See, Anthony's confused because that's the look that women usually gave him on dates.
Oh man.
Well, my wife still gives me that look, so you know.
I was mad to do this. But if you'd have smiled on me,
Nothing
I've
scary.
found the beauty satisfying. Your soul
And,
has gone.
And she's playing a Franz Liszt song on the piano. By the way,
really?
That's Liebesstraum.
Yeah. Well, see, I would never have known that. Thanks, Steph. This is really
I
unrealistic.
love melodramatic acting.
I really find this unrealistic. See, a white man in the 30s is concerned that a woman that he's attracted to doesn't have a personality.
Yeah.
Let's face it, for most men of that period, that wouldn't be a problem.
you must put the light back into her eyes.
If anything, if a woman had a strong personality back then, the guy would have just left her flat.
Oh, absolutely. See, that would be an easy market for Lugosi to manage. Like, I'll remove the personality and like any like problems you'll be having with your wife. He'd make a killing in the 30s.
A killing, you say?
yeah, that was an exceptionally good use of words there by my part, I'll be honest.
You must bring her back.
Yeah. Yes, you planned it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
How do you suppose those
Nothing
eyes
but
will
professionalism here at Blue Genocide.
when the brain is able to understand?
And Psychopath Theater.
And Psychopath Theater, absolutely. For we are psychopaths, and we are the classiest of people.
You're actually speaking to zombie Steph today.
Because I kept you guys up. Because I had to take the kids out today.
Oh no! I mean, I'm just trying to keep my voice at
Love
a decent.
time.
I'm just trying to keep my voice at a decent level because I don't want to wake anybody up, and I think I'm still loud enough that I'm very audible.
Better to see hatred in them
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
than that dreadful emptiness.
Hey, watch that, Sonny. I can't hear you.
Well, that's just showing your age again, Anthony.
Fix your hearing aid.
Hey, watch that. You come over here, you whippersnapper, and I'll cane you between the legs.
Silver, bring wine.
Good night, everybody.
Have a toast.
Ah, whoops. All right.
Oh,
I love a good hammy performance.
That's something to love about
Especially
all
from that guy
early
with the
horror
curtain.
films.
And that door actually looked like it had a screaming expression on it. If you look very closely next to Lugosi for that brief moment, it just had like two eyes and just a massive mouth. Reminded me of that Facebook
To the future.
page where it's like things that look like people's faces, and it's just, if you want a time waster during pandemic, there it is.
Pretty much.
And now no one wants to talk to me because it's like, okay, this man's truly a psychopath right now, talking about things that look like faces.
Monsieur. The flower.
So I think Lugosi's a little bit bisexual because now he's going to take over the simp. I like that character name. He's just the simp. You guys have heard of the tramp? Well, this is the simp.
What are you trying to do?
It suits him well.
Mademoiselle. I'm afraid you might not agree.
She will watch us. That's the plan. It's like, yeah, that is pre-code, all right.
Well, that would be
That's
scary.
pre-code.
That would be scary to most men in the 30s.
Yeah. Because according to men in the 30s, you know, homosexuality clearly didn't exist.
Oh, absolutely.
But then again, if you listen to like blues songs for like the 20s and 30s, especially by women, there's like a lot of songs where they're very overt about lesbianism at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, just because
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't in movies, it was still, you know, times where it's some
that
aspects
face.
of like of modern society were the same back then.
Yeah, especially in the Roaring '20s, I was reading up about just how there were literally like just massive drag parties, and just gay parties and all that. Like it was literally like the Roaring '20s. That's what it was, just crazy. Just what everyone was getting up to.
And then the
back
Catholics took
then.
over.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
The Catholics ruin all the fun.
Yep.
At some point,
I should know. I should know I'm Catholic.
Well, I'm Christian, but yeah. I have to say this is a very
and I'm a
Nosferatu
baby
shot.
eating heathen.
Lucky.
Lucky.
Just kidding.
I believe these sets are from at least a little bit of them are from Phantom of the Opera, 1925. I believe. Yeah, I'm probably wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read something about that.
Well, a lot of that made sense though, because a lot of these places that they have their studios and all that, and it just made economical sense just to reuse some of that stuff. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't take notice of these things.
That fucking crow.
Yeah, films are fairly new, and it was still a new art. I mean, it was even considered inferior to radio, and of course even vaudeville.
Absolutely.
So no one really cared.
So I do want to say I'm sorry if I get any of these like sets like wrong. I just know that they did pay Universal off, like whatever like small company did this film. They paid Universal off to use some of their sets from Dracula and other films. So I believe the sellers or like whatever that was is from Phantom of the Opera, and that castle shot might be from Dracula, it might not be. I could be wrong. Looks kind of like it, but it also doesn't in the same way. That has a weird wipe too. I forgot about that. I don't know what that's about.
Oh, I was gonna say something, but I don't know. I didn't. I think it would be too dirty if I said it.
Okay.
That crow would have made a really good like death metal singer.
Yeah, that crow is awful. So I'm trying to remember. There's some nice.
I
Horses.
have a question for you, Blue.
Okay.
Out of 10, what would you give this movie?
This one in particular.
Yeah.
Okay, and now I need to know context. As a film today, or as a part of the horror lineup?
Just like how good you think it is.
Okay, I would probably be a little bit generous and say a 7 out of 10. It's not my favorite Lugosi film. It's not my favorite. It's not even my favorite Lugosi film of this year. But I do think that it has some great acting out of Lugosi and some of the supporting cast out of it. And it's just a charming film. I think I would say a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably give it the same. I really like it a lot, especially Bela Lugosi's fantastic in this. But like some of the other actors just don't have like any charisma at all, like the two Sims. I think the actress is fine.
Oh yeah, I mean the actress gets to play like a boring like blank slate most of the film, so I mean they could have got anybody.
Is this person on the horse? Is the person on the horse in like in blackface or anything, or is that just a print?
I'm not sure, and I really don't want to get into that. To be honest.
No. Well, no, we're not going to get the history of blackface and that. But I was just curious. Is that someone just in?
I
or
think
it could be
so.
someone with makeup. I don't know. But...
Probably.
Because I know the one African American actor there that was an African American, but I don't think that other one on the horse was.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it. But anyway.
Yeah.
Sometimes these film prints can be a bit tricky to.
I don't think there's anything like super offensive in this film.
Nah.
Yeah, not really.
Oh god, that crow again. God.
It's just only offensive thing. Only offensive thing about like movies like this from back then are like that undertones of like colonialism you have going of these like white tourists traveling to some weird and strange, mysterious, faraway land. But
yeah, and
apart
I do understand why they did it, because traveling was not something people did at this point. Like it would be a couple of years before commercial, travel was a thing. So
unless you're on a ship or something.
Yes, but that would have been expensive, and especially in
the
Great Depression.
Months.
Yeah. So these films.
Yeah, everyone was broke.
So these films were meant to like probably put like a blank slate on somebody to like show them going on this like epic journey that you kind of wish you could. That was the entire point of movies, was to be an escape. So that's kind of why I forgive the colonialism, even though, again, it is idealism and all that awful stuff. But I give it a pass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. You can watch it in its correct context.
It doesn't prevent me from enjoying the movie, but it's worth pointing out.
Exactly, and it's not something you'd do in a film today, and like you wouldn't do blackface today. unless you had like a really, really weird reason to, like in the Spike Lee's movie Bamboozled. That's Trevor Thompson actually put me on to see it. I haven't actually had a chance to watch it yet, but from what I'm reading, it sounds like my kind of film. I mean, I do like a lot of Spike Lee's films, so
This is a
He's
pretty
a
cool
great
shot
director.
for the period. Like they were still getting used to like camera tricks like this. This is probably a pack-in technique where they like filmed
though
over film, but had some of it not exposed.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that
really
look at that
cool.
stupid grin.
well, you're not seeing me through a camera, are you? You're talking about his grin. Okay.
Yeah. No, but see now that you asked me that, Steph, I'm kind of trying to think of what my favorite Lugosi film from this year would have been, and I gotta say, I think it probably, if it's not Murders of the Rue Morgue, it's probably even though he's in so little of it, he just has that lasting impact in it. I think it's Isle of Lost Souls because that's such a great film.
Oh yeah, I agree. That one really is legitimately disturbing. It's like there's a scene where like the Charles Lawton character has like someone on like an operating table, and then the camera just like moves away as like something really gruesome is going to happen, and it's
Oh yeah,
it's very unsettling.
that entire film, yeah, like it's a great like I would love to do that film for Psychopath Theater.
Well, yeah, your channel. So you want to do this sort of stuff? Just let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, you know what?
But I want to point out. I want to
Yeah.
point out with those fades as well. Before I forget, if you look very closely, the image would be fairly sharp right up until the very tippy end, when it would look a lot more faded, and when they need to blend everything together. It's just something I've noticed with them trying to do those fades.
Oh yeah, no, that was
Very impressive though.
like camera tricks were getting like they were still very new, and I know. Oh, that is definitely a Dracula set. There's no question about it. That is the scene where Renfield gets pricked on the finger, and Dracula goes for it. Like that is definitely the same set.
So I will say the best film around this time, like earlier on, and I'm sure you'll agree with me on it, is Metropolis. Just how groundbreaking all those effects were at the time.
Oh
Do
yes,
you
yeah.
want me to break your guys' heart? I have never seen
Uh,
Metropolis.
That's cool.
You haven't seen it?
No,
Not
I
a big
haven't.
deal.
Sorry, I didn't catch you there. You cut out. You have seen it or haven't?
I haven't. It's been on my
Okay.
list. I have the Kino Blu-ray. I was gonna watch it with friends, but then COVID happened, and it's
Well, I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen it, but I have not seen the complete version, because when I first encountered it, it still had a few scenes cut, and then a few years later, after I had seen it, they found in like Argentina, I think, like the complete version, which they of course immediately preserved as you would.
Complete
So I have
version?
not seen the complete version.
Because I'm sorry if I'm a little cynical, but they've been finding lost scenes of that movie since the 70s. They say that they
Now it's complete.
found the whole thing.
Yep, it's the whole thing.
That's public domain, right? That has to be.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
If it's not, it will be really soon.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's a great movie. It's more science fiction.
Well,
than horror, but it's
again,
definitely
guys,
first of its kind.
We have really no order. I mean, I promised Sonic and Popeye sing along. Obviously, those are next in the totem pole. But other than that, we're open. So if you guys want us to do Metropolis, like if you guys are enjoying this, me talking over this, you guys would like to see a film that I'm maybe not familiar with, that I've always wanted to see anyways, you know, I could find a way to get to that film, the full version, and we could watch that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah, I wouldn't
great.
mind revisiting. I would definitely like to revisit.
I'm a huge film buff, so I love watching these old movies.
Oh, I do too. It's just that, you know, I don't have a lot of people that would watch these with me, so it is a lot of
See,
fun. Oh. Go ahead, Anthony.
What blew my mind about Metropolis is how it cost $1 million then to make.
I can't believe anybody let him do that. Fred Slane.
I mean, $1 million then. I mean, I haven't done the inflation count, but $1 million then would be like blockbuster money now. You know,
a couple billion, yeah.
Maybe not billion, but
in the 20s.
I'll do the I'll do the inflation calculator right now.
Okay, yeah. I would say it has to be at
I'm
least
watching
close
the film.
to $1 billion. Yeah, no, that's okay. No, I'd be down to watch Metropolis. I mean, I've always wanted to. I have a Blu-ray of it, but I have no idea what version of it's on there. It's always the confusing thing about those like multiple version films, because Metropolis has been in so many different states in the last 30 years or so. It's just.
Well, how
really
recent
hard.
is that Blu-ray?
Well, you know, I haven't looked at it in a while, but it's definitely within the last year or so.
Oh, then it is a complete version.
But the thing about it is that just because I got it a year ago doesn't mean. I don't know. I'll look at it, and I'm sure that, you know, it's public domain. I'm sure I could find the full version if it does exist. Yeah, that's not something I'm worried about.
That's a terrific zoom in shot. Wow.
Yeah, like you could tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think the calculator I found worked, but
okay,
it'd be a lot of money. You know, $1 million then. I mean, that's why you have a lot of bad guys wanting just $1 million, whereas today, it's like, yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, they were making the joke in Austin Powers.
Yeah,
that was
in
like
the
1997.
So, you know, let alone today.
I also have to say I relate to the female character in this. Life during COVID often feels like this.
Oh, I thought
just
you were
walking around with a blank stare.
Oh, I thought you were just bragging about how many men were interested in you.
And no.
He's walking around.
He's doing much better than I am.
Well,
or ever have, for that matter.
I just figured, you know, you got the blank stares walking around, and you just, but instead of the gown, you're just wearing a bed sheet, you know, because I think a lot of us during the lockdown just were like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, pretty much.
I have to say, though, you know, this is completely unrelated to anything, but her costume right now, it really reminds me of the way, I don't know the actress's name, but the Joan of Arc character in the first Bill and Ted movie. I don't know, it's completely unrelated to anything, but it's just what it's reminding me of. It's just a blonde version of her.
But you know that bit where he's looking at her and she's really blurred? If you want to know how bad my vision is without my glasses, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, me too.
Just to give you guys a heads up.
Me too.
You know, I can only see maybe, I don't know, maybe a ruler length in front of me clearly without glasses. I mean, I can see around me, like when I go swimming pool and I'm not wearing my glasses and I'm still watching my kids, who can swim, by the way, so, you know, it is safe. But I have to, I purposely got them to wear really bright colored swimsuits so I can actually know to see them further on. But
that's smart.
You know, bit of trivia.
Again, those eyes.
Oh man, she could have stabbed him.
Well, this is a 30s movie,
I love his hand movements.
You tell me if she's gonna stab him. That would be really funny if she actually did stab him. That was just the end of the movie. What what's this song, Steph? Do you recognize it?
I think this is just original soundtrack music.
Yeah,
Whoever did the score.
it's beautiful either way.
Yeah, I like it.
I will say though that of movies of this period, my favorite film is still King Kong. The amount of stuff that film has done that people don't even realize it did is just like it has camera tricks from this movie. It was the first film with a complete original score. The camera tricks, the fact that it's the first like main character with us created out of a special effect, and here I am going off about Kong again, but I just want to say that, you know, if you're wondering, King Kong is like my favorite film of this period. Again, I'm just wishing there was a way I could talk about that film on this channel.
My favorite movie from this period is probably Duck Soup. Or maybe Sons of the Desert.
Love those two films.
Yeah.
Man, I've seen Duck Soup so many times. It's probably my 5th favorite movie of all time. Because I have my own top 5 movie list, and Duck Soup is usually number 5. So
Haven't seen that either.
if people care to know, I can tell people my top 5, but
Go ahead.
it's not my channel.
No, go ahead.
What have they done?
We're wrapping up the film.
Oh,
Yeah?
sure. Okay. Do you want me to tell you now or after the film?
Right now, because I think I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, but go ahead.
All right. So my top 5. So my favorite film of all time is Saturday Night Fever. 2nd is RoboCop. 3rd is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. 4th is Once Upon a Time in America, and 5th is Duck Soup.
I haven't seen a single one of those.
Nice.
Yeah, and people are usually shocked when they hear Saturday Night Fever is my favorite film, and
Yeah, well, I mean, I was.
but you know, but there's a really good reason, and no, because
The
not
soundtrack is killer.
yeah, that should have won an Oscar. I think after that film, I think the Academy sort of changed things up that you can actually that sort of thing can win awards. But back then, it was just like a disco thing. It's like Big Whoop, but it's basically a musical without people breaking into songs.
That's cool. All right.
But
Steph.
we'll finish with Lugosi though, and not Travolta.
Steph, what's your top 5? Do you have a top 5?
Probably City Lights.
Buddy's
Charlie
Bearcats.
Chaplin, Seventh Samurai, Django Unchained, Hard Day's Night, and Duck Soup.
Okay.
Yep, seen them all, love them all.
I never.
Yeah.
I know my top 2, but I would probably have to like really think about it if I wanted to make a top 5. But I'll just try it right now. My favorite film is Back to the Future.
That's a good one.
My second favorite, King Kong. Third, that's hard, but I think, at least right now, my opinion would be Gojira, the original.
Yep, that's a good one.
And then 4 and 5, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, just because of how much that film meant to me as a kid. And 5,
Madeline, don't you know me, dear?
Wayne's World.
Neil, I couldn't spare.
Ooh,
Nice.
you're only saying that because Austin's not here, right?
No, Austin can suck an egg. Wayne's
I
World's
I really love the original Godzilla too.
Oh,
it's really good. It has a good message.
Yeah, and you know what? I would say that quite a few of the Showa Godzilla films are really good. It's just the memeable ones are the ones that are most memorable, unfortunately. But I would say that Raids Again is pretty good as well. Fucking crow. That crow should be a kaiju. And I love how they just take care of Dracula. They just throw him off the side. That's always been really funny to me. That's obviously a doll, obviously. And, yeah. Of course, to fix the love triangle, the other two have to die. Or it's technically a love square.
Anthony, you should start doing that thing with the hands whenever your kids start acting bad.
That would be
My darling.
that would help. I just give them the Bela Lugosi stare, and they know to be quiet.
It's just me, or is the male lead dressed like Brendan Fraser in the Mummy movies?
It could be an influence. Well, it could be very much an influence. And I gotta say, the first two Brendan Fraser Mummy movies I've seen, I don't care. I love them. I think they're great. I don't care what anyone says. They're fun.
Fair enough.
The third one, no, but.
So I didn't explain this, but that character looking for the pipe, he's supposed to be like a running gag throughout that entire film. I don't completely understand it, but that's the truth. So that's the end of the film, actually. They wrap everything up really quick. Dracula and the simp are both thrown over the side, and I thought that was a lot of fun. Anthony, what was your opinion on it? Because I think both.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real as well. Like, I would need to probably watch it like without people talking over it, of course, to properly absorb it and that before I could see. I enjoy the set design, the all the tricks that they did to keep the budget down, but they're really good tricks and they look really awesome. That crow is insane, but it's okay. And of course, Lugosi, as you said, I totally agree. He's a great actor. We've all got those actors that you're happy to watch just a pile of crap movie, like some of the worst things ever, but because it's got that one actor, it just makes it all worthwhile.
Oh yeah.
And Lugosi would be one of them. Like another one for me, like I said Orson Welles before was one good example. Believe it or not, John Goodman is another one for me. He's been in some crap, but I just love John Goodman.
I love John Goodman too.
Steve Buscemi, he's another one. He's just one of those actors that I will tolerate just about anything just to see him. Stanley Tucci. I mean, like, I don't know. He's just amazing. Stanley Tucci. I think he's underrated. I think he's amazing. He's just got such a massive range. I've actually watched nearly every single Peter Sellers movie, and boy, did that guy make a lot of garbage. I love you, LSB Tokus. When he's just giving brownies to everyone, and the marijuana brand. It was just, but I watch it because it's Peter Sellers. Like, I'll watch anything with him,
right?
In it. So,
well, I'm really happy that you enjoyed it. Like, I don't think it was very boring. I think
that's good.
See, I'm trying to think, if people like this video, and I totally expect a smaller response than the two sing-alongs, because let's face it, we're tackling entirely different territory with this. I think this was a lot of fun, and I really want to do more horror films. Obviously, I don't know. You guys think we should do Night of the Living Dead next, just because?
Yes.
Steph is like, yes. Well,
I'm game. I'm game. Maybe, why don't you make a poll? I mean, granted, yes, I know, and this is not me rubbing it in because I can do this and you can't at the moment on your channel, but maybe make some sort of a Twitter poll or something. Yeah. And people can maybe vote on the next one.
Yeah, and Porky's sing-along will be made as a bonus to that one. I'm gonna... I want to do the Sonic movie because I promised you guys that for 300 subs, and that's something I want to do as well. But I think after that, I think we'll try to do like another horror film, because I can't really think of another cartoon at the moment that I'd want to do. I mean, somebody in the asylum was recommending we do another like sing-along type project, and I'm like, I don't know, like. I feel like we've done the sing-along. Like, I think people want to see a Popeye sing-along, but they don't want to watch Popeye sing-along, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think it's gonna be big. I don't think it's gonna be as like memeable, because I'm pretty sure I've looked into that and it's a lot less interesting, because I mean, you can guess. Like, guess which cartoons they use for that. Just take a wild guess.
50s stuff.
Second guess.
Oh, they of course use
Sinbad.
Alibaba. Yeah, they use the color ones.
They use the color 30s ones. So the 3. That's the entire film, basically.
Yeah, it's Alibaba.
Sinbad, Aladdin.
Sinbad and Aladdin. Yeah, there's those 3 two reelers.
Yeah, the 2-reelers.
At least it's not the 50s ones. That would have been boring.
Yeah, and like Anthony said, like Metropolis would be a lot of fun. There are so many of these
that
I want to do.
That one is like 2.5 hours though.
Yeah, it will be a grind, but I'm up for it. Like,
yeah, sure.
I mean, we couldn't get Austin or Fox to sit there. But...
yeah, no.
Can you
look. Austin says he's a budding film student and all that. You know, he should watch that one at least once.
Yeah, but can you imagine?
You know, I've watched a lot of things.
I guess there's more value to Hanna-Barbera than Fritz Lang or Orson Welles, apparently.
Nah.
It's okay.
Austin's a cool guy. Let's not harp on him too bad. But
I know. It's fun.
I'm pretty sure that if I did a poll though, like, I'm gonna do a Twitter poll because we all know how my intro poll went. I think if I checked it now, it'd still say 0 votes, but whatever. I'm pretty sure if I did a poll, people would be like Night of the Living Dead. I'm pretty sure that would be the winner.
Probably.
It's on my list of things to watch. Even if, look, I'm not gonna lie. Horror is probably my least go-to genre. Like I'm not against watching that sort of stuff. I mean, The Shining, the Stanley Kubrick one, is like such an incredible movie, for example. And you know, I like The Exorcist. I have a very soft spot for Exorcist 3. I think that one's a gem.
Right.
But you know, I'm open-minded.
Right.
In other words, even though horror is just not my go-to. Like I haven't seen Poltergeist. I haven't seen Nightmare on Elm Street, or I haven't seen any of that stuff.
You want me to be honest? I'm not a big fan of modern horror either. I love monster movies.
Me neither.
Those are what I'm passionate about. And Anthony, I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, gory.
well, now this video is this video is now going to be called by YouTube for copyright because you used a bit of the Disney song, right?
Oh yeah. Suck it, mouse.
Well. No, I'm game. I mean, you take your time out for my channel. I'm going to take my time out for yours. Not because it's a chore, but because I genuinely enjoy doing this stuff with you guys. So, just let me know.
I found fun with this, but I think that I've held up long enough on this. Please let us know in the comments. I'll probably put this in some like horror pages I can find. Reddit, the Classic Monsters subreddit used to be pretty kind to me. Maybe I'll put it there, but we'll see. But you know what? We had a lot of fun doing this. I really hope you guys will give it a chance. Even my animation fans who sometimes tell me that they'll only watch my animation stuff, and that's fair. But I did this channel to do multi-purpose stuff, and that's what I want to do. So, anyways, any final things you'd like to say, Anthony or Steph?
That's a great movie. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Definitely. Anytime you want me on, let me know.
Well, of course. So, anyways, from our psychopaths here, and I don't know how to end these. How did we end the last couple? I don't even know.
You just did the psychopath theme song that you came out with, the outro song. Yeah, we are the psychopaths. We are crazy. We are the psychopaths.
Good night, folks.